Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Semi-Informed Football Podcast. It's Marco here with Mark, and what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take a little bit of a wrap of what's happening on the weekend. A lot of great events, a lot of great games that happened on the weekend, and we're gonna go into a look at the second leg of the Champions League coming up. Get into what we expect happening, our predictions, and everything like that. So I don't know. Let's jump right into it. Mark, let's kind of start off with the Prem. Two teams that I'm thinking about specifically and for different reasons, or maybe similar reasons, but just the different sides at the top and the bottom. Arsenal and Tottenham. Mark, take away Arsenal. What happened on the weekend with them?
All right, so I've been saying this all season. They've been sort of lucky, consistent to a degree, fantastic defensively all season, but they don't have a way to really find consistent goals. In December, their leading scorer was own goals. So this problem is creeping up. I also mentioned on the pod before that it all boils down to confidence. And I've said that if they lost the game, the Carabao Cup game, the finals to City, that would start the downfall, just shooting their confidence. And it did. That's what happened. Then they played in the FA Cup and they lost to Southampton. And then they played in this game and they lost
Yeah,
to yeah, to
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Honestly, give it to a mid-table club, but yeah, they took Arsenal 2-1. So what? How many points difference are they now from Man City? It's 6 points now. So where I think it was at one point 12 points, now it's six. So a lot
Okay,
closer. And
it's a 6-point lead now,
Mhm.
but next Sunday, Arsenal plays City in a monumental game of the season.
It's almost like they planned
Assuming,
it that way.
yeah, and assuming if City wins, they'll be 3 points back, but City has a game in hand. So if they win against Arsenal and they win the game in hand, these teams will be level. Now, right now, Arsenal has a slight edge in goals for and goals differential, and that's what their fans are clamoring about. Oh, if we're tied, we'll be ahead. But that makes no sense because if they do lose to City and City wins their game in hand, then City will be on top.
Amazing. Okay, so let's look at that other game. So Sunderland taking Tottenham 1-0 in a full-time game today. What does this mean for Tottenham?
Okay, so this puts Tottenham in the bottom three. They're sitting comfortably in 18th, 2 points back now of 17th placed West Ham. Nottingham Forest, they tied 1-1 with Aston Villa. Really sad because they scored both goals. That's right. They scored an own goal. If Nottingham Forest had won, they would have given themselves a bigger lead on Hotspurs. And I don't know, the way West Ham is playing, they're just firing on all cylinders right now. I think this is really dire now. Really, really dire. I think some fans are saying deserve be out.
Oh, right. Yeah, one game in the seat. What is that? Would that would be
Yeah.
five managers in the year? It's insane, insane. Okay, you know what? Let's move things along. I
All
thought it
right.
was a really interesting weekend in Serie A. Milan dropping a game 3-0 and really needing those points to kind of climb in on Inter. Juve winning to move up to the table into fourth space. But a really, really great game on Sunday that happened was Inter taking on Como. And I think a lot of the other teams who didn't want Inter to win because they were at the top of the table saying it was actually better for Como not to win in order to, no, get that glut in the middle, right? Where they would kind of vault themselves a little bit further into the Champions League spots. So, uh, amazing game, kind of the trade-off, Como taking the early lead, but Inter winning that 4-3. So
I was
putting
gonna
them,
say,
yeah, so putting them really, really high up on the in the lead, 75 points to Napoli 66. So 9 points up. Looks like they're kind of pulling away, but I don't know. I guess it's another one for Inter. But again, the Champions League spots, the Europe spots, are the one that are interesting in this league.
Yeah, but what a game! Like 7 goals, 4-3.
Yeah.
Kudos to Como.
Yeah, barn burner for sure. Okay, let's move
Yep.
on into the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga, where Bayern had a convincing 5-0 win over St. Pauli. Now, what was that record that they ended up taking, Mark?
So they set the Bundesliga record for most goals, and this record was set back in the Franz Beckenbauer days. So this is going back. What is it, Marco? About 40 years
Yeah,
now.
no, 50 years into the 70s.
50
So
years. Yeah.
Beckenbauer, Müller, Uli Hoeneß,
Oh yeah, Gerd Müller.
these are big names that were on this Bayern team, right? But uh, this this Bayern squad is really, really firing, right? If you're not getting like look at that front line of Kane, Olise, Luis Diaz, Musiala back. Gnabry's hitting stride this year, and you know what? Not even that. It's like I don't know if Davies kind of gets his stuff together and really kind of gets some health out there. And you know what? You always have Kimmich. Kimmich, who is unsung hero, but just being able to fire in those was so they have a lot of firepower this year.
Yeah, I think that front three really is so lethal. Um, I know Luis Diaz very well,
Yes.
and watching him, he's just grown even more. And I'm gonna keep talking until the end of the season about how sensational Michael Olise is. I think every team would want him. Of course, we hear the rumors: Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Madrid. But he's found the perfect spot for him now.
Right.
And this is what football's really missing is a provider like Olise. You can have a guy like Holland, but you're missing the Olise. And I think the world needs more players like him.
Yeah, yeah, no, playing on the wing, but I guess for France, a traditional number 10, so it does fit within that. It does fit within that ramp. So honestly, such a phenomenal player, so tough on the ball and relentless, never giving up on that and quick. So honestly, really, really good pickup for Bayern, and he's really hitting his stride this season. So anyway, you know what? This is the same. I get the bulk of our chat today on the podcast. We're going to go into the Champions League, which I thought the first 4 games last week were unreal and really, really set up the second leg. So we're going to go through all 4 games, starting with the Tuesday games, and then just going through there and giving our prediction for that. So I'm going to say our first one, and this is going to be Atletico of Barcelona. So this one's in Madrid. Um, Mark, what do you think is going to happen here? We saw a red card for Barcelona in the first. I did think Barcelona had a great game, but you know what? Julian Alvarez throwing in that amazing, amazing kind of dead ball curl right into the top. I don't know. I don't. Can Barcelona come back from 2 goals to win this one?
Yeah, if there's any team or one of the teams that could come back, I think in the Champions League, Madrid, we know. Um, I would say PSG is a team that could come back. I mean, they're up. And I would also put Barcelona up there. Liverpool, of course, in the past showed that they could come back when they demolished Messi's Barcelona team. Um, but yeah, Barcelona, you can't count them out. Does it hurt that they're missing Rafinha? Absolutely. Will it be really tough without Kubarsi on that red? Absolutely. Did the red change the game? Absolutely.
Yes, it did.
Now, Julian Alvarez is showing that he's an amazing player. We knew that from his limited minutes at City. But I thought Atletico's uh, job of getting that second goal that Sorloth got, that really puts a lot of pressure on Barca. I could tell you what I'm expecting knowing Simeone. Um, I am kind of expecting that Atletico will not do what other clubs do and just park the bus. I think they know at this point their best strategy would be to play their game, go on the attack, try and get a third goal. A third goal, especially if they score early, that's going to really put a damper in Barcelona's
Yeah,
comeback.
dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you predict on this one? How do you think this one's going to go?
Whew. I'm going to say 2-1 Barcelona,
And
which
what
would put Atletico through.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna be a little bit well, you know what? Maybe not I'm gonna say that Barcelona ties it up in regulation. They have to go to extra time, and then Barcelona takes it. Just to be a little bit contrarian and different, because I really liked the game Barcelona was playing. We were talking off the podcast. We are talking about
Mhm.
Rashford, who I thought brought a lot to this game. And I was really, really impressed the way he played. I don't know, just to play a little bit different. Okay,
All
Mark,
right.
let's go into the one that's near and dear to your heart, Liverpool and PSG.
Yeah.
The first leg of this one, I think Liverpool had their chances. I think PSG just looked very lethal. They looked sort of like 2025 PSG. Mark, what did you think?
I thought the first half hour showed what's been plaguing Liverpool all year. Really, Liverpool should have been up 2-3 nothing within the first half hour. A lack of clinical finishing, really some bad shots from guys like Salah. Um, and then after PSG scores, it seemed to just roll downhill. Um, Questionable defense once again from Kanate, and I hate to say it, but even from Van Dijk. Um, and then Liverpool were a completely different team after that first half hour. They didn't look threatening at all. Um, they looked very nervous. It reminded me to how nervous they looked in the win against PSG in the first leg last year, where PSG dominated the game, deserved to win the game, and somehow Liverpool pulled off a one shot counter attack that scored.
Yeah, Mark. So, do you think anything is going to be different in this return leg for Liverpool? Like, are they going to have this change up their strategy, or just play harder with the players that they have?
All right. This hurts, obviously, but if I'm being honest,
Yeah,
and the way that Liverpool's played all season, it's just been a hot mess. Arne Slot has been tinkering a bit too much. The formation, a 4-2-2-2, it's just not working, right? He's tried that formation. Against PSG, he went with 3 back. It was a 3-5-2. And I don't know. I think he's playing around too much. He didn't play Salah, which he should have. Um, I don't know. I don't see things ending well. Maybe the only advantage, and it's an advantage we've kind of lost lately, was the fortress at Anfield. Used to be that teams came to Anfield and were, you know, tough to eke out a tie, let alone a win. But the way PSG is clicking, um, I'm gonna say PSG wins this game.
yeah. Honestly, the way I look at it is that again, I don't want to conform easily with what you said, but again, just taking a look at the quality of players PSG have with their Portuguese contingent. With I don't one of my favorite forwards is Desiree Doué. I think that I think they pull off a 1-0 win. Maybe in a very unspectacular game, and
Oh,
if that's a fate, if that's a fact, Mark, is that sort of kind of paving the way for Arne Slot to leave?
I think so. I just at this point, I don't think there's any point letting him go now. I think they would wait till the summer.
Yeah, yeah, for
But
sure.
I think yeah. Losing this and perhaps even, I don't even want to talk about if they don't finish top 5, but yeah, I think you want to give a manager time. but it really seems like he's out of his element right now. He inherited Klopp's team and to some degree the system, and so it was masked when he won
Yes,
the
yes,
Prem.
yes.
But they've had that transition of a lot of players, a lot of turnaround, and if he was good enough, he should have been able to manage things better.
Yeah,
I don't think the players are a lack of quality. I think it does boil down to management.
yeah. Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's go into Wednesday's games. So Arsenal pulled out a late games a stunner against Sporting. Does Arsenal put this one away, or is it going to be a tougher match? What do you think?
Okay. Here's an interesting fact. And I saw an Arsenal fan actually post about this before the game this weekend. When the game's at home, when the game's at the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal tend to give up goals. So it was really crushing, I think, for such a late goal. That game should have really ended 0-0.
Yeah.
I don't know, Marco. I'm gonna go with Sporting. Again, I'm gonna go back to that second leg against Bodo Glimt,
Yes.
where I watched the whole
Convincing.
game and I just thought that they were on fire. It was smooth. And if they can play that way, I think Arsenal's gonna be a bit hampered. Also, this game on the weekend between Arsenal and Bournemouth was a complete disaster.
Mm.
A disaster of epic proportions. When your goalkeeper is the second player on your team with the most touches, that's a problem. Why is your goaltender having the second most touches and passes? So that's a major problem. There was a lot of defensive hiccups. There's a lot to be learned from that film. So if Sporting's doing their job, I'm gonna say Sporting pulls it off. I'm gonna give you a crazy prediction here. I'm gonna say Sporting wins 2-1, or sorry, I think after 90 minutes it'll be 2-1 Sporting. It'll force them into extra time, and I think Sporting will just want it more, and I think the confidence of Arsenal will just be shot.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So okay, to add a little bit of color, Sporting is actually in second spot, 5 points behind FC Porto. So you know what? Makes sense to kind of go for gold for this one, right? So I do think Arsenal's going to pull it off, though. I do think that they're going to have heads. Yeah,
I might.
I think they're going to put 2 or 3 goals in. I do think that they're going to sort things out, but I don't know to play the boring prediction on that. I guess it has to be contrarian to you. Okay, so let's go to an interesting one. Let's go to an interesting one, Mark. Mark, and my quote always saying is like, you can never trust Real Madrid and you can never count them out because they're going to pull something out of their butt in the Champions League. So they are down 2-1 going into Germany, playing Bayern. Um, I don't know. We ended up talking ad nauseum earlier on about like the amount of firepower that that Bayern has. You know what? I watched this game live. I watched a replay of this game on YouTube, and I think that Real Madrid got kind of got got a bad rap from the football world. I think they actually did play a really great game. Vinny narrowly missing a few. Um, and, it just everybody got Mbappe scoring a beautiful goal from, Trent Alexander-Arnold, but also having a lot of chances himself. I think it's gonna be a whole lot different game, but let's see what the game, Bayern pulls into that. Mark, what do you think is gonna happen here, and where do you see it maybe being a little bit different than the first leg?
Well, you've been saying it for years, and so that quote really resonated with me. You can never count Madrid out. This is their tournament. This is their tournament. And no matter what internal strife is going on, um, Bayern had a 2-0 lead. I thought it was over, And when Madrid scored, I was thinking back to your comment. That's right. You can never count Madrid out.
Right.
So that's what makes this second leg unpredictable to me. I mean, as much as I think Bayern's clicking, they're the heavyweights. Madrid always seems to pull out some magic from the hat.
Yeah.
Um, that's why it's difficult to make a prediction. If they win, it won't surprise me, but at the same time, Bayern's been on fire. They might even set the record in Europe for most goals in a domestic season.
Right.
Michael Olise about to set a record for most assists in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Harry Kane chasing down Robert Lewandowski's 41 goals in a season. Just endless records. But yeah, Madrid, you can't count them out.
Yeah.
I almost feel like there's been so much talk in Madrid about, or in the media, I should say, about the problems with Madrid. They have Vinny and Mbappe, and Mateo said it before. These two guys want to do the same thing and are doing the same thing, and it's not working. You can have one, but not both.
Yeah.
And other people have been saying that too. So anytime you hear some sort of controversy, and even though it might be very true that you can't have Vinny and Mbappe, but I find that anytime there is some controversy, that's when Madrid rises to the occasion
Yeah. I
and shows the world, meh, we're Madrid.
Very sneaky team. Arda Güler, who was playing in the front line too. Great player himself too, right? But you're right. Very sneaky team. One thing that I wanted to point out, we talked about a lot about offense too, but Manny Neuer had a phenomenal game in the first leg. Like just his positional play was unreal for a 4-year-old keeper, right? So still pulling it for Bayern. Honestly, I think he has a monkey on his back with Real Madrid for the past 2 seasons or so. I really do think that, they can squeak it through, but Manny Neuer has to be on his game. Upamecano can't make these stupid mistakes, in the back line. Like, I think they have to be very, very clean because, Mbappe is gonna get that extra pass. He's quick as anything, right? So, it's very, very, very dangerous. I'm hoping Bayern can squeak through a 1-0 win at home. Mark, do you have a prediction for this one?
Okay, so if you predict 1-0, they go through 3-1. I'm gonna say this game ends 2-2, which still puts Bayern through.
Okay, okay. One thing that I wish I had said, we had a podcast a few weeks back where we talked about the European qualifiers for the World Cup, and we were talking about Italy, Bosnia. And I was saying this off podcast, but I didn't say this on podcast. Where I said the only thing that I really see changing here is that if there's a red card, that changes the whole dynamic, right? And I think that's going to be the same thing here is that I made my prediction as it is. However, if there's an early red card, that's off the table. Who knows what the hell would happen, right? It changes the game
Yeah.
significantly. So those are so those are extra things that you never really kind of plan for. But if that were to happen, I think that really significantly changes the outcome. So I don't know. I don't know which one would be getting one, but either way, it would significantly change, I guess, the pace of the game.
Okay, Marco, so let's end on this controversy.
Okay.
Uh, so I mentioned prior to the game that Italy might have a strategy where they do want to play for kicks at some point because you have Donnarumma, who's probably the best shot PK stopper right now. But during the game, I believe it was a 17-year-old, 14-year-old ball boy noticed Donnarumma's notes,
Notes.
jumped over and stole them. So Donnarumma wasn't able to check and see where players were going to shoot.
Yeah, he looked upset.
Yeah, rightly so. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I guess it's fair game. I had a few people talk to me. it is what it is. Like you have to be a very. I think who was it? Was it Pickford? He actually had it strapped to his arm. I don't know if you remember that game. I
Thought it was
don't
a
recall.
water bottle.
Yeah. So I honestly think if yeah, you know what? It's part of the game, and sometimes that happens. Yeah, is it cool? No, it's not cool. But again, he caught it, and by all means, power to him. He did that. Reminds me a little bit and I think this is one where I really don't agree with sort of like the ball boys kind of playing. Is that AFCON final, where what was it? Was it the which team was it? Like it's totally lost my mind. Was it Morocco or Senegal that their backup keeper had to fight with the ball boys because they were grabbing the towel, so he couldn't even kind of dry himself off in torrential rains. I don't know, like that's where I think they're really overplaying their step.
Yeah. I don't think it should be allowed. Um, but maybe that's a future rule that needs to be implemented.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like again, it seems like it's so I don't know extra to the game that if it happens, then you know what, you should have had a better control of your notes, I guess.
Or better control the ball boys.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. So, with that said, thank you so much for listening. We had a lot of fun on this podcast. I'm really, really looking forward to the games on Tuesday and Wednesday. We really think they're all going to be uniquely great, great, great games. So, we can catch those. And you know what? Challenge us on our predictions or on our analysis. But again, until then, we're keeping you
Semi informed.